Hello guys, in this video I am going to introduce you to a very interesting model which is a fine-tuned of Llama 3 Instruct 8 billion. This model generates Neo4j Cypher statements based on GPT-4o synthetic dataset. This model has been created by Tomaz Britannic, so really hats off to him for creating this with Unsloth. Now, Neo4j is one of the finest graph databases out there. Before I go into the details of this model and we install it and play around with it, let me give you a very quick overview of what exactly Neo4j is. Neo4j is a type of database that stores information in the form of connections between things rather than in tables like a traditional database. So if you have worked with Oracle, SQL Server, MySQL, these sort of relational databases, or even NoSQL databases like MongoDB or DynamoDB in AWS, all of these database engines or systems, they all are based on tables. In some cases, there are relationship between tables like in RDBMS, and in terms of NoSQL, there are no exact relationships as such. But in graph database, instead of storing this information in terms of rows and columns in the tables, it stores it in the nodes, and then there is a relationship between those nodes. So this is what graph database is. Let me show you an example in the ASCII art which I just created. So if you look at this example, what is happening here is that we have few data points or nodes, like we have this ls. So all of these in square, these are the data points or nodes of the graph, and then these lines with arrows, these are the connection between this graph. So ls, whose information is she is 30 years of age, and her relationship with Bob, which is another node and who is 25 years old. Ls relationship or connection with Bob is through this line with the arrow. So they are friends and since 2010. If you look at it, not only we are storing the information about the nodes in the within the node, but also whatever the relationship is, we are also storing that information there. So now by just looking at this ls and Bob thing, we can tell that both of these are friends and they are friends since 2010. And by following this scheme, you can store as much information as you want in the nodes and also in the relationships. If you look at the right hand side, there is another graph relationship where we are telling it that ls likes the pizza, and because she gave rating 5 to the pizza, whereas Charlie doesn't like burger because he gave the rating of 1. So this is how you represent your data within the graph and node. This is what graph database is, and one of the finest databases out there is Neo4j, as I mentioned earlier. Now the story doesn't end here, and by the way, Neo4j is not the only graph database. There are heaps of other great databases. But why I am mentioning Neo4j, because this model converts whatever text you give into Cypher. Cypher is the graph language of Neo4j. Let me give you an example from the Neo4j sandbox. So this is where Neo4j is running live on my system on online. All you need to do is to go to Neo4j website, sign up, and you will get this sandbox too. And I will drop the link in video's description too. On the left hand side, you see it is telling us that Cypher is a graph query language or GQL that is used to query the Neo4j database. And you see we have this some of the nodes here, and if you connect them, this will become a graph relationship. Now just to make show you a very crude example. For example, you want to create a node. How would you do that? So let me show you. So for example, I'm just going to go and type in this top one. I'm just going to say, okay, hello world. Maybe I'll just say 1 and then press enter. You see it is now creating the node. Let's wait for it. One label has added. You can click on code to see what code was executed, and this is our table. And then you can also match it. So this is in the Cypher language, you can match with this greeting, and this is what it is meeting. If you want, click on graph, it is going to show you it in the graph one. So I already created this hello world before. This is how you can move around them, and then you can see the code. You can also check it in the text one, in tabular format, which is a JSON one, by the way. And there are a lot of other things you can do. For example, if you want to just return the message instead of the node, you can use this command in this Cypher language. You see, it is just returning us hello world. So there are a lot of things which you can do, but as this tutorial is not on graph databases or Neo4j, but you get the idea what exactly is the graph database, what is Neo4j, and what is Cypher. And now you will enjoy this model, which enables you to convert a text to Cypher, and this is what we will also test it. So let's talk about this model a bit more. So as I mentioned earlier, this model is a fine tune of Llama 3 8 billion, and the researcher has also shared the synthetic data set. Let me take you to my local system where I am running Ubuntu 22.04 and I have 1 GPU card of 48 GB of VRAM. And this is courtesy to our friends at Mast Compute. If you're looking to rent a GPU on very affordable prices, they are the people to go to. I will also drop the link to their website plus a discounted coupon, which if you will use, you will get 50% discount. So really hats off to them. Huge shout out for this generosity of letting us use their GPU and this VM to make this video. Now the tool which I'm going to use, which you guessed right, if you are old viewer of my channel, that I will be using LM Studio. So if you don't know what LM Studio is, how to install it, I would highly suggest you check out my channel. I have done heaps of videos and I have just made the screen a bit bigger. Launch LM Studio, just type Text-to-Cypher, and then I think this is Tomaz. He is the actual creator. He already has done the quantized version, which I am at the moment downloading. Size is around 16 GB. So I think it is done, I guess. Okay, so it is just done as we were talking. So let's click on this folder icon. Yep, you see it is 16 GB file. Let's click on these three dots and let's load this model Text-to-Cypher. So let's wait for it to download. Okay, the model is loaded. For the preset, because it's a Llama fine tune, so let's select the Llama 3. I will just go with Llama 3 v2. That is done. And now let's try to offload all the layers to GPU from the right hand side. If I could only find it. Let me do that. Okay, so the model is loaded now. And now let's try out some of the text. So you see what I'm trying to do here is I am just giving it a text prompt that find all people who are friends with someone who likes pizza. Press enter. There you see. It has just given me all the people. It is just creating the whole stuff there. The whole scenario. How good is that? So so assuming we have a social network where people can list their friends. So this is all it is doing. And then I have asked it, sorry. So it has created a schema. And then I asked it, can you create a Cypher command above? And if you go down, there you go. So if you remember, we were also using the match command in that sandbox. So it has created this Cypher command. And then this is, I love that it is giving you the synopsis of the query, that we identify people who prefer pizza by setting this, and then all that stuff. How good is that? Because if you remember that creating that Cypher syntax is not easy, and so why not use an LLM to do that? So this is what this LLM is doing here. Let's try out another prompt. So I'll just make it a bit complex this time. In this one, I'm asking it find all employees who work in the sales department and have a manager who has been working at the company for more than 10 years. And just show me the Cypher command. Let's see. There you go. You see GT, which is greater than 10, and it has perfectly given us that one. Let's try out maybe Another one, I'm just going to paste it here. And I'll just say, give me the nodes and relationship. There you go. This is a schema. You see, it has given us a schema property and it has generated it by itself. How good is that? Amazing, amazing stuff. And it has given us a Cypher query too. What more could you ask for? Amazing stuff. So I think amazing, fabulous model. Really stellar effort by the guy who has done it. Fine-tuning Llama 3 and then creating a synthetic data set and sharing all the weights and data set on Hugging Face and elsewhere. Amazing stuff. I will drop the link to his model in the video's description. Please check it out. If you like the content, please consider subscribing to the channel. And if you're already subscribed, then please share it among your network as it helps a lot. Thanks for watching.